It is the journey of the entire life. When we say we have to be a good person, so first I become good to myself. So when I become good to myself, what happens? So when I become too good for myself, then I have sincerity, I have commitment to myself. What that means, commitment to myself? Commitment to change myself, commitment to excel myself, commitment to become better and better by creativity, by not. So, what is the most important thing that is required? That is the right knowledge. Right knowledge is required, Sienna. So, how to understand what is that right knowledge? So, there was a cub of a tiger, and he was lost in the herd of cows. So, his mom wanted to search all the way in the forest, and she did not find her. She did not find the cub. Then what happened? Then the cub became adult, but he was behaving like cows. He was eating grass because he was raised in the by the cow's mother, the female cows, and he was living with the calf and other. So one day the tiger saw the adult cub in the company of the cows. Now the tiger started chasing all the cows. So he was also running like a cows. He was also scared of the tiger. He was the tiger, but he did not realize that he is a tiger. Anyhow, the tiger caught hold of this cub and he pushed the cub near the river. And the tiger cub looked his face into the water. And the tiger said, "Now look yourself, who you are. Who you are." And then cub was looking into the water himself and then looking at the tiger, then looking at the cows. No, I'm not like a cows. No, I'm not a cow. Then why I was running? Why I am scared? And he realized that he is a tiger. He left the company of the cows. Tiger is supposed to be the king of the forest with a tremendous strength. So he had the strength, but he was feeling scared from other tiger and the lions. So he was behaving like a cow. So in the journey of yoga, the teacher is a tiger. And the students are cub. They don't realize that they are also tiger. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So the teacher gives us that knowledge, those practices by which we realize our inner strength. So once we realize our inner strength, then the entire life changes. So if you feel scared, you are a cub. You are not a lion. you are behaving like a cow. If you have anxiety, you are behaving like a cow. Tiger is never scared. Do you see that? Do you get scared? So it does not mean that if we are not scared, we can hit anyone and we can just enter into fight with everyone. No, we keep that inner strength to help ourselves to become a good, better, creative person in our day-to-day life. So the entire journey of yoga is nothing but huh? The teacher is a tiger, and the students are they have entered into the life of a very weakling. They have lot of anxiety, maybe stress, fear, etc., negativity. These are they makes us weak. They force us to live the life of anxiety, duality, conflict. So we have to get rid of that. So the entire teaching of yoga is based on this knowledge. Now, see the other side. If you are in peace, you have a clarity of knowledge inside, your goal is very clear, and you are pursuing goal in everyday life. You have life is organized. That is what we have studied. In one of the lessons, the life should be organized. We should do some practice before going to sleep. After we wake up, we should continue the practice. Then you should read the lesson because why? You read the lesson and then close your eyes and reflect on those lessons. Huh? We have covered many beautiful principles. So, what will happen? Then the life gradually changes. We become creative. We become, we have the inner strength. Huh? And we have the right knowledge to pursue the goal of life. There is a change of place, if you are upset that you have moved from Arizona to Utah. Uh, I changed my house 7 times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was in India, I was living in a humble house, inherited. I got it inherited from my parents' first house. Then, after a few years, I went to Indonesia in a diplomatic service. So I worked with and I lived there with my family for 4 years. Ah, so in my first house, which I inherited, it has only one bedroom. We were four. And then I went to Indonesia. I had a royal house because I was diplomat. And it was a big house with two small houses for maid, for nannies, because my kids were small. Then I returned back to the same house. I bought another third house that is a bigger house. It was in a high rise building like in New York in India. And then I landed up here in New Jersey. Again, I had to rent a house. After a few years, I bought another house in New Jersey, and now I'm here in Arizona. I think you came to my house.
Mm, no, I haven't.
You did. Oh, yeah, I invited you. Yeah, you were busy. Yeah. So you see that? So change of place, change of people helps us to grow, helps us to know more. So I was in Indonesia. So I had a lot of friends, and they are still my friends. And those friends asked me to go to Eastern Europe. So I should be open to Meeting, making new friends, learning from them, not getting attached. If you get attached, then there will be a problem. Are you attached?
No.
So, yes. Now, what is another way to understand this? So, in Gita, Gita means Gita is a complete book written by, no, complete book written by Vyasa. So, where Krishna, the originator of yoga, talks, gives teachings to his student, his disciple. So, that needs to be understood. Where he says, Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapna avabodhasya yoga bhavati dukha. So, what he is saying, balanced life. What is balanced life? In the life of moderation. Two words he uses, balanced life and life of moderation. What is balanced life? So he says yoga is only for those who wants to progress in their life, who wants to progress in yoga, want to reach to the highest level of yoga. So what they should follow? Moderation. Moderation and what did I say? Organized life. So what do you mean by moderation? Moderation means in every activity, moderation in sleep, moderation in food, moderation in play, moderation in study, moderation in talking to people. We should not enter into gossip. I have no time for the gossip. I don't find. Why should I do it? Why should I do it? There is no reason. So instead of a gossip, I close my eyes and I start talking to myself. Okay, where is the real self? Am I in peace and calmness? Do I live? I have been living in peace and calmness or not? Yesterday, did I live? Is there any problem? Yes, there is a problem. So let me discuss, think of it. I communicate with myself. How to solve that problem? I recently bought a sound bar for my computer because I give lot of group sessions. So I said, okay. Now, yesterday, I could not figure out how to connect it. So I was working. I worked for 1 hour and it did not work. And I said, no, my mind said, I will return. Then I said, no, let me think it over. This is how we have to think when there is a problem. So I closed my eyes. I said, it's hardware, software. Okay, not connecting. So problem is either this soundbar is wrong, is not functioning properly, or my hardware or my software. So you see that the knowledge is revealed in the mind. Oh, I have to check software update. And I downloaded the driver, I installed it, and the next moment it is working. So whether we have a problem, do you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes. So, whether we have a problem in our life with the relationship, problem with our body, problem with our mind, we have to, what we have to close our eyes and we have to see the problem. We have to see from where the problem comes and how to solve that problem. That is the nature of a yoga seeker. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So, moderation in everything, balanced in everything. Oh, today in the morning I got tired. So, okay, what should I do? I have to check what I did yesterday in the night. I was watching film until 2 a.m. Moderation. Moderation is required. Can I watch this film the next day? Yes, I have to sleep at a particular time. So that is what the balanced and moderation is this. If you start living the moderation and a balanced life, you will always be happy and full of joy because everything is organized outside. The problem comes, you don't have an anxiety. You will say, okay, let me just think of it and solve the problem. We did not cover these things, very important things. That's why I said, let me cover this in this session. And if you have any challenge of doing those practices, so now see the Hatha Yoga, you are a very good in doing the asanas. Now Hatha Yoga text. Hatha Yoga text. So what I do, you can copy and keep it in your, I'm sending it in the text so that you can copy and keep it in your,
Okay.
this one, first this one. So what it says. Now we will understand what this Hatha Yoga says. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasanghascha lolyamcha shadbhir yogo vinashyati. These six things destroy yoga. You may be a committed student, you may be very dedicated, but if your life has these six attitudes, six traits, it will destroy yoga. What are these six? Eating too much, overeating, or undereating. Both are problems. So, what should I do? Talk to your mom, talk to your dad, Google out what is balanced diet, what is your age, what should you take, what you should not take, how much you should take. We all know understand nutrition, food, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Whether we are vegan, so what we should take. If we are vegetarian, what should we take? If we are non-vegetarian, what should we take? I'm now completing my 61 years. So for the last 4 years, I have stopped eating rice, bread. I live wholly on vegetables, fruits, quinoa, and some lentils. So what happened? Why? I still feel the same energy. I feel younger than you. I feel myself younger, mentally, full of energy all the time. So the first, undereating, overeating destroys yoga. Second is very important, overexertion or lazy. So we should not do over physical exertion. That also destroys yoga. So why? Well, there are many reasons. I'm upset with my dad and mom and sibling, and then a couple of days, and then the mind says, "Okay, you have to change your mind. Overexert." Then I start sweating too much, and that I get a habit of overexertion. No, so yoga says no overexertion, no underexertion, balanced. That destroys yoga. Third is being too much talkative, but I talk too much. So that means that we are entering into gossip. Talking too much about the right knowledge is good. My profession is talking, talking, and talking.
Mm-hmm.
So do I overtalk? No, because I do not enter into any kind of a gossip. So you see that you and your friend is sitting, oh, this dog is very good. Oh, I had a friend whose dog I saw on the internet. It was very long and large dog. And then, then what happened? Then you say, okay, that, one dog attacked on my friend and there was a big wound. He has to take 10 injections. This is what the gossip is from one thought to the other, useless. So we have to avoid being, that is the meaning of being highly talkative. So these are the three. They three just destroys yoga. Eating too, under or overeating, under or overexertion, and and there is also opposite of it. Opposite, I don't want to talk. Why you don't want to talk? You have a knowledge. Express it. Don't enter into the gossip. And my master used to tell me that if we follow the rules strictly, that gives pain and the suffering to our life. So we have not to follow. Our rules should be flexible. We should know. Oh, today is okay. I sleep at 9 p.m. Okay, but now I have to complete this work. It will take 1 more hour. So let me sleep at 10 p.m. So we should be flexible. It is not that. No, I only need pasta to eat. And now you become stubborn. No. So we should be flexible enough in these rules and regulations. Did you understand that? So
Yeah.
same thing sometime. No, we should have a dress and clothing, but if my mind sticks, no, I only want this. I only will live into this. That is not a good idea. That it means you are not a yogi, you are not a yoga seeker, right? So atyahara prayasascha pradalapo niyamagrah janasanghascha parityago janasanghascha lolyam cha. So janasanghascha, company of common people who do not know anything about yoga or who ridicule yoga. I should not live with those. Let me keep a distance. I should not react. Okay, thank you. You are right. Your opinion is right. But that's all. Finished. Why? I'm seeing that my life is changing through the yoga. So the more and more people ridicule about it, then what happens? Your mind also changes, right?
Yeah.
And lolyam cha. Lolyam means distraction, wandering mind. I should not have a wandering mind. You wake up in the morning, oh, let me take a shower. No, no, that is not fair. Let me take a cup of tea. No, it's okay. Then let me study first. No, no, let me check the mail. No, let me check the so. No, that is wandering mind. We should not have a wandering mind. We should not have a wandering mind. So you see that? This is required to succeed, and this is not required to succeed in yoga. And then understand there are, let me put this also so that you will, who can become a seeker. So you can keep it in your file. The earlier verse from the Gita, Yuktahara Viharascha. So now, one more thing, and then I will ask if you have any question. Patanjali. I teach to adults and highly advanced seekers, but I see that I must also guide you this thing. So, what is this thing? This is 1920, yes. Born, yeah, I should give Shraddha, Virya, Smriti. Samadhi Purvak Itaresham. So, who succeeds? Patanjali says you should have these five traits in your life. What are these five traits? We'll talk about this. Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvak Itaresham. So, those people who have these traits, they always succeed. What are those traits? It is Shraddha. It is Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. Second is Virya. Virya means energy, enthusiasm. You can copy and keep it in your phone. So, second is Shraddha. Viryam. Viryam means enthusiasm, energy. Have you ever seen me? I feel sleepy, and then I don't know. Let us rush. Let me complete it, and then I'll sleep. Any time you have seen me for the last 2 years,
No.
so we should have that energy, and I have also seen you that you have the same energy and enthusiasm. So first is faith, second is energy, enthusiasm, third is the right memory. Huh? Fourth is known as, or we can separate. Fourth is known as samadhi. Samadhi means regular practice. And prajna, the fifth word, means the power of discernment and dispassion. So let us take Shraddha. Even in dream, did you ever think that you are not Sienna?
No.
That is faith. So if my mind says, yes, the real self is within me all the time, it is full of peace and happiness. Do you have that faith in you 24 by 7? And if you have it, no more anxiety, no more reaction. Life is full of peace and happiness. So you have to work on that. Anytime, anywhere, with anyone. Mind says, no, I don't like. Okay, I don't like, but what it has to do with my mind? Let me keep a distance, but keep my mind in peace and happiness. Why? Because peace is my essential nature. Do you see that?
Yes.
That attitude should be there all the time. All the time. That is what do you mean by Shraddha, faith. There is another word that means very good. Shraddha means holding the mind. The mind is holding on to the real self. Mind is holding on to the peace. Mind is holding on to the calmness. Mind is holding on to the joy. And when the mind holds on to anxiety, reaction, we start thinking in the same way, and then we enter into problem and suffering. Clear?
Yes.
Second, second trait is energy, enthusiasm. What is that energy and enthusiasm? You wake up in the morning, check you are relaxed, calm, and aware. If you are relaxed, calm, and aware, you have the energy. Are you talking to your dad and your mom as if you, and they say, are you, Sienna, are you sleeping? Not talking with a low energy. It means we have to find out. Talking, communicating, living in that energy and enthusiasm 24 by 7 is the way of a yoga seeker. Yoga seekers is never frustrated. He makes the or she makes the frustration frustrated. So that is energy, enthusiasm, intense aspiration. That is the second trait that we should check. It does not mean that sometime I have low energy, so I have to find out. I have to find out the cause. Atyahara prayasascha prajalapo niyamagraha. I just gave you the previous sutra. Overexertion. Oh, that may have led me uh, to low energy. Too much of talking. Too much of talking, especially the gossip, drains your energy. And talking about the right knowledge increases energy. The more I start talking about these principles, my energy level goes up. Normally, what happens? People talk for an hour and they say, I'm exhausted. After 1 hour, my energy level goes up. After 2 hours, energy level goes up. After third level, energy level goes up. So that is the second. Third is the right memory. What is right memory? That you did the practice and you experience the peace and calmness. So tell to your mind, when I do this practice, I become easily calm and relaxed and peaceful. So you keep that memory in your mind all the time. Whenever you need it, you can use it. But if you don't have memory, how can you use it? Are you getting it?
Yes.
And the third and the fourth is regular practice with wisdom. Just organize your life, moderation, and balance life so that you should be doing the practice regularly without fail. Fourth one. And the fifth one, pragya. This Sanskrit word pragya here I am using for you, that I should live in wisdom. What is that wisdom? I should always understand what is right and good and what is not, what is pleasant and what I like. So, whatever I like causes an obsession, and the obsession makes the mind sleep. When the mind sleeps, then knowledge sleeps. When the knowledge sleeps, then the frustration, anxiety, duality, conflict enters into our life. So, my mind is focused on what is right and good. Then only we are human being. If we don't recognize what is right and good, and I follow unconsciously, subconsciously, habitually, then I am living not as a human being, I am living as an animal being. Give me an example. Simple example. You have a pet, beautiful dog, I have seen it.
Mhm.
Now, what happens when the dog, your pet, faces the mirror?
Um, he,
He starts fighting as if there is another dog.
yes.
Yeah? Do we do that when we face the mirror?
No.
We don't do it. Why we don't do it? Because I know it is image. That image does not have a weight, that image does not exist, that does not have a shape, that does not have a color. It is simply an image. You are watching me. You're not watching me, you are watching my image in your computer.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Hmm.
So that understanding, that is the right knowledge. So when I understand what is right and good, dog does not understand. Other animals do not have that ability. Even if you put your dog and you train him hundred of times, and still that dog is going to fight with the image in the mirror. I saw a beautiful, wonderful, I think. I saw the German Shepherd dog. So he saw himself into the mirror, he barked, and then after barking, He went behind the mirror to see where is the dog. See, that is what the pragya means. Pragya also literally means higher mind, higher level of awareness. So as a human being, we are living at a higher level of awareness. So we should always keep that level in all the thinking, in speech, in action. Otherwise, we start doing the same thing like a dog and a pet. When when we do like this, when we are angry, when we are agitated, when we are frustrated, when we think that now this problem, I cannot solve this problem. Dog cannot solve the problem of the image. Whatever the dog does, dog may jump here, there, continues to jump, gets exhausted, and still the dog finds, our pet finds that the image of a dog in the mirror, it is his own image, but doesn't realize. And that is what happens in anxiety, in reaction, in duality, in conflict, in problems, in pain. So that is why we have to live with the fifth trait, that is pragya. Any problem comes, let me find out what is right, what is good. Now, if I don't have an ability to think, let me ask my dad and mom and other friends, what is right and good here? I'm doing like this. Is it right and good? Google out what is right and good. See, I give you simple example. Dr. Fauci, you know Dr. Fauci?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. So he is 50 years experience in infectious diseases. So whatever he says, I trust him. I follow the guidelines. Put a mask when I go out. Let me do it. Where is the problem? Now, what I don't like wearing the mask. That is wrong approach. You see, what I like. No, 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 I don't like wearing the mask. Huh? So that people cannot see my face. People do not go out to see your face. People have their own business. They are busy in themselves. So I should maintain my awareness of what is right and good. So all these five traits helps you to grow further. Next month, when we are meeting, I want to see you the next level. Continue the practices. If you have any issue, send an email. Do you have anything more to say or any question?